Hello, everyone. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in to our live series weekdays at 11 a.m. Today, I have the absolute pleasure of speaking to Emee. Emee is a client of ours as well. And so I'm very excited to have her on today. She is a 3 times #1 best-selling author, psychologist, and founder of Self-Publishing Made Simple. She helps successful entrepreneurs, coaches, and visionaries expand their reach by writing and publishing their books on the world's largest online book retailer, Amazon. Through her online programs and signature Get It Done Hub, she guides her students through a proven self-publishing process to successfully launch a book to #1 bestseller on Amazon, even without a publicist. Emee, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Annette. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm so excited to have this chat. So let's start off with, should everyone have a book? Does everyone have a book in them, and should everyone have a book?
Well, I have to say, if you are a business owner, a coach, you actually do need to have a book. I know people do have like all sorts of social media platforms and you have your podcasts and so on, but the book is another stream where you could reach so many audiences. There are so many people who actually want to know what you know. And so if you are someone, particularly if you are in the information or consultancy, coaching arena, having a book could help you to leverage, especially if you are going to publish on Amazon, to leverage the power of Amazon and reach more people, grow your brand, build your audience using that platform. So my short answer is yes.
Yeah, absolutely. And so I think to a lot of people, they might understand kind of logically, okay, well, that makes sense. I mean, a book would be good, but oh my goodness, how can I possibly write a book? A book is so much information, or excuse me, a book is, it has to be written in a certain way, or I'm not, I was never good at English writing when I was at school. How am I going to possibly actually physically write a book? What do you say to those people?
I have to say, some of my best students start off with that thinking, like I'm
Mm.
not good enough. Like when I was a student, my English teacher said I should never ever become a writer because I'm just so
Yes, I
rubbish
had
at
that.
writing. But you see, Annette, this is what I'm saying. Some of my most amazing, self-published students in self-publishing
Yeah.
made simple, they start off with that and they carry that belief until they become adults. But the thing is, you become good at what you do, you become experts in your field, and there is a way to repurpose your existing content. You know what you have to do, you know your topic inside out, and there are ways that we could, for example, some of my students, they have an existing course, they
Yeah.
repurpose that and turn it into a book. If you are a speaker or if you facilitate workshops, if you have a podcast like this, all you
Mm.
have to do is look at your existing content and hire a publisher, hire an editor or a
Mm.
ghostwriter to help you to refine it and turn it into a book. So really, your starting point should be: is there something that I could deliver? Is there something of value that I could give to my readers? Forget about the writing for a minute, because you could always hire a team. You can
Yeah.
have a developmental editor, you can have your line editor. They will take care of the editing and make it proper, if you like, for reading material. But as far as you as the expert goes, all you have to really believe is that you have valuable information that you can share, and there are different ways that we could take out that information out of your head and turn it into a book.
Yeah, I love that. I think that the traditional image that many of us probably have when we think about writing a book is somebody almost at a typewriter with a blank sheet of paper ready to go and going, okay, so where do I begin? But like you say, when I wrote I'm going to say first book because it's certainly not going to be my last book, but when I wrote my book, The Profit Plan, I actually took the material that I had used for a 5-day challenge. I had run it multiple times. And I basically took the video recordings of those and kind of got them transcribed and kind of smushed it all together and put in other examples and all that kind of stuff. But that was the basic starting point for my book. And it was and most of the writing was done at that point almost, because all the content and the words were there. I just needed to make it sound like it wasn't just a live that I'd done. So I think that's a great thing for people to realize, is you don't need to sit down with a blank piece of paper and go, okay, let's begin.
Yes, absolutely. And from my experience with my students, that's actually what really works. And we already know that there is an appetite for it. They've already tested the
Yeah.
material using a different format. So whether
Yeah.
it is an online course that you've delivered, or whether it's, from your podcast, some have blogs and so on. You've
Yeah.
already tested the material, and it's just a matter of repurposing it to suit it in terms of having it repackaged as a book. And by doing that, again, you're adding an additional resource to your business. You're widening your reach, especially if you're publishing on Amazon. You're leveraging the power of Amazon and putting your brand forward and making it visible on that platform too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, of course, we have to remember that different people consume content in different ways. And whilst you might have a video about it and a podcast episode about it, if you don't have something that's long form written, then you're missing out on those people that are the book consumers, or excuse me, are the ones that actually want to sit down and consume content in that way.
Yes, and I have to say, Annette, when it comes to self-publishing on Amazon, of course, you have the Kindle version, you have the paperback version. Now they also have the hardcover version, but audiobooks. I mean, that's another level that we also need to explore, because there are so many people nowadays wanting to consume information by listening. So when you already have your book transcribed, in this way, the next step would be to turn it into an audiobook, and there you have another platform, and you're just widening your reach in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. So what about people that say, well, there are so many books. Let's say I'm okay, right? Okay, I get it. I'm going to write my book. But there are so many books on Amazon. How on earth is anyone going to accidentally discover my book over which must be millions of
Yeah.
other books that are out there?
I have to say that was my major concern when I first started self-publishing, because before I got into self-publishing, I'm a former academic psychologist. I was traditionally published textbooks and so on. So all I did was write the book, and the publisher deals with
Yeah.
everything else. But with self-publishing, it's like, I'm gonna put in so much work, so much time, and I'll have to invest as well, because I'll
Yes.
have to prepare for a cover, my editor, formatting, and so on. So I'm going to invest all my time and some money preparing my book, only for it to flop,
Yeah.
with the, millions and millions of books on Amazon. So what I did, I had to educate myself. It's scary, but I didn't let my fear eat me up. So what
Yeah.
I did, I reached out to mentors. I read books. I educated myself
Mm.
about the ins and outs of self-publishing. And the main thing that I learned from the get-go was actually doing your market research and your keyword research, so that you could use the Amazon algorithm, optimize your keywords, so that when people type in those keywords, when they are looking for books on Amazon, Amazon will rank your book highly because you've included it in your metadata. So that's actually one secret sauce that I learned at the start of my self-publishing journey. It's one thing to write an amazing book, obviously, with your followers, Annette. The people that we attract in our circle, we care about our customers. We care
Yeah.
about serving our people, and we are able to deliver a good product. But if nobody finds it, that
Yeah.
all of that effort and all of that investment in time and in money will be wasted. So the first thing that I actually teach my students in self-publishing made simple is we have to do the keyword research and the market research from the start. Selling the book is not an afterthought. And when we do the keyword research right, we optimize our books in terms of the title, the subtitle, the series title, especially if you're
Yeah.
building a portfolio of books on Amazon, adding those keywords in your book description, having a launch team as well to review your books and adding those keywords in the reviews so that when the Amazon bots scan your book page and identify those high traffic keywords, they will put your book forward to the people who are looking for that kind of book because it is relevant. So doing the keyword research, that's my answer to that question, Annette, because I have to say that was my fear when I first started. So many books out there. How am I gonna especially when I started, I had zero social media followers. I was like an academic, like under rock,
Yes.
like hiding and so on. I didn't have any social media account, so I was really starting from scratch. How on earth I'm going to show up and get the readers to find my books? And the answer to that was keyword research and market research and leveraging the power of Amazon as a search engine and
Yes.
optimizing your book's metadata for those particular keywords.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say actually, was that it's really important for people to understand that Amazon is essentially a search engine. People are going to Amazon and they're typing in, whatever your niche might be. For me, it might be they're typing in, profitability or accounting or something like that. And people will be doing the same for our listeners' niches as well, and trying to find out information that they can. So that they can consume the information in the way that suits them, i.e., through a book.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to say, I'll just give an example. One of my clients, Celia Kibler, when she came to me, she already had her book published. Okay. And she came to me, it's like, Emmy, my book isn't selling. It's like, what's
Yeah.
going on? I know that I'm a good, she's amazing, like a parenting coach, 40 plus experience of coaching parents to stop yelling
Yeah.
at their kids. Just amazing, amazing. And
Amazing.
I saw her book and she titled it Taming the Toddler. And
Ah,
and I asked her, it's like, Celia, what does that mean? And she said, well, sometimes toddlers are a bit of an animal and we need to tame them and blah
mm,
blah blah. And I said, I don't think people are going to type that in. And actually, for me as a parent,
yeah.
I don't actually feel like I want to tame my child. So we
Yes.
started looking at the keywords. We did a keyword research together. And what we found was people are typing in the irresistible outcomes that they want from a parenting coach. And what they want is they want to stop yelling at their kids.
Yes.
And their goal is to raise happy toddlers. Like they
Mm,
want their kids to be happy. They want to develop their parenting skills. And yeah, they want to stop yelling at their kids. So that's
yeah.
what we did. We optimized her existing book. Like we just changed the title, the subtitle, her series title, and turned it into Raising Happy Toddlers, How to Build Your Parenting Skills and Stop Yelling at Your Kids. And that got her to number
Ah,
one. By just repackaging it, we had to unpublish and republish. That got her
okay.
to
Yeah.
number one. And it made it more appealing to her readers. It's keyword optimized and it's closer to what she stands for because she's all about empowerment, all about having more positive outcomes for her clients, for the families, and of course for the children. So keyword research really important.
Yeah, and I think that's a good lesson as well, isn't it? Because we can come up with funky titles or cool little phrases, but actually, if they don't mean anything to somebody who is searching for your thing and then scrolling through the book options, if it doesn't stand out to them as, oh yeah, that is me, that is what I want, then it's not going to be purchased. It's not going to be bought by anyone. So in terms of book sales and revenue from book sales and book as a revenue stream or a revenue driver for a business, how do you view the book as a revenue stream or slotting into a revenue stream? I think you know where I'm
Yes,
getting
yes, I,
with
I
that.
do. I do. I have to say, so many of my clients are small business owners, coaches. So many. I'm attracting so many therapists and spiritual healers.
Mm.
Probably because I am a psychologist.
Yeah.
But what I keep telling my clients is that you can look at your book as a way to leverage your brand. It's more about brand awareness. It's more about adding an extra resource in your business to make people know, like, and trust you. They need to discover you. So the book really
Yeah.
isn't about making as much money as you can from the book royalties itself. Of course, I mean, in my case, money is still coming in from the books, but I actually spend it back on ads, so it just keeps churning in this cash flow, if you like,
Mhm.
bringing in the money, but also spending it because I just want to have that visibility so
Yeah.
people will know my brand. And that's what happens with my clients as well. Instead of paying for example, Facebook ads,
Mhm.
what happens with them is they would publish their book. Obviously, we will have book promotion services and so on.
Mhm.
But by having their books out there, they are using their books as a way to let people know what they stand for. They're giving their voice. You get warmer leads because when people read your book, they feel as if they already know you. Like they've
Yeah.
spent that time listening, like quote unquote listening
Yes.
to your voice. And for my students as well, I encourage them to put in a lead magnet in there,
Mm.
to grow their mailing list, or if they have a podcast, invite their readers to subscribe to their podcast, or if they have a Facebook group. So it's really a way to let people become more aware of who you are, growing your list, growing your followers, nurturing your audience. And I do have some clients like for Celia and also for Sarah Keeling. She's an animal healer.
Oh
And
yeah.
when she advertises her live workshops, she will put her book forward as a bonus. Like if you attend my workshop, you can get my best-selling book
Mm.
bonus. So you can use it as an upsell. You can use it to actually get people to know about your current offer. So it adds that element to your business. It's an evergreen resource that you can use
Mm.
over and over again. And yes, I have to say, the passive income from the royalties, it's actually quite good as well.
Yeah.
But you can always, in terms of your cash flow, you can reinvest it,
Yeah.
just so you have more brand awareness and using your book in that way.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that was a big key for me in writing my book, was essentially using it as a very chunky, lots of value, but a lead magnet, really, overall. We have kind of extra resources that people can get in there, and templates and all those kinds of things, which and that's how I use the book in terms of her complete transparency with people. We published the Kindle version in November. I think it was the end of November, actually.
That's right.
We haven't done the paperback yet. I still need to get some time aside to proofread that. But I am currently on the Kindle version only, taking home around about £7 a month in royalties. So it's not breaking any world records. However, what it is doing is it is bringing leads and clients into our business. And we have people who now say on calls to us, oh, yes, I read Annette's book.
Yes,
And
and
that, for me, is where the value lies.
yes, and I have to say, Annette, with some of my clients, especially if their purpose is to really raise the brand awareness and grow their mailing list. If you are registered on KTP Select,
Mm,
you can set your book for free for 5 days. And
mm,
if you have book promotion services blasting out your book through their existing mailing list, like some of these book promotion services have like
mhm.
1 million subscribers, having your book for free and promoted by these book promotion services, some of my clients will have 2,500 to 3,000 downloads in one day. They're
Wow.
not making money because the book is free, but that means more eyeballs on your
Yeah.
brand. And with people actually having a copy of your book, even if it's just a Kindle copy, they
Yes.
already know that you are this person who can offer them that help. Or if they know someone else
Mm.
who would benefit from a book like yours, it's already in their hands. So it's a really great way to let people know who you are, and you can nurture them from there by just them buying your book.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my Kindle version is actually 77p. It's not breaking the bank at all for that exact reason. For that exact reason is to get more people to consume it, because more people consuming it means that they are more profitable. It means that they know, like, and trust us more, and it is a win for everyone. So I love that. So what would you say to somebody who is thinking about dipping their toe into this world? Because we've spoken about the kind of the writing part of it. There's also a tech part of it in uploading your manuscript,
Mm.
getting your SEO working. That can sound, all of that can feel quite, and then the selling part, of course. So all of that can feel quite a big job in terms of people's time commitments, ongoing time commitments, especially when they're running a business as well, and perhaps have other personal commitments. How much time do people need to dedicate to the process of not only getting their book published, but then the ongoing kind of management of that
Mm.
afterwards?
I have to say it can feel quite overwhelming if you put it that way.
Mm,
It's like so many things that you have to do,
mm,
so many things that you have to juggle. That's why, when I started, I reached out to mentors and I really educated myself so I could see
mm,
what are the tasks and what I can and cannot do. Because the truth is, you don't have to do everything yourself. If you're not a designer, if you are not
mm.
an editor, if you're not good in the tech and setting these things up, you could delegate. If you
Yes.
already have an existing team, just get people who are good at what they do and ask them to do it for you. You are
Yeah.
operating like a CEO. You don't have to do everything. You just need to understand what the strategy is, how this is gonna pan out, and you delegate the tasks, build your team, hire an editor, hire a professional cover designer. If you want your book to look pretty, hire a book formatter as well. And
Mhm.
the book promotion services, you can delegate that out as well. Even after you've published your book, if you want someone to run the Amazon ads, my ads are running on
Mm.
autopilot, so it's just running on its own. And you could just review it, as we do
Yeah.
as good business owners. We have a look at it and monitor it from time to time. But once the systems have been set up, it's just smooth sailing from them, and you can just write more,
Yeah.
build your portfolio as you gain more experience. But the short answer to your question, Annette, is really you don't have to do everything yourself. You could
Mm.
build a team, delegate tasks that you're not really good at. But the important thing is to really understand the process, understand the strategy, and lead your team. Lead your team. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. Now, speaking of writing more books, like you kind of touched on there, how frequently should people write books? Or I'll put it another way. Is there anything as too frequently? Would you say to somebody, whoa, 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 you are churning out too many books here. Calm down.
I don't have a clear answer to that, Annette, because
Mm,
as you know, it would depend on your business model.
yeah.
So if you are someone who's churning out, let's say, low content material like
Mm,
children's books, like trade
okay.
sale books, and
Yes.
so you can keep churning out every
Mm,
month because the kids they finish. It's like what else to do? I have to
yes.
keep going. There are some authors who will write a book every 2 to 3 years. That's especially for the chunkier ones. Like if you're writing a 60,000 word book, you cannot
Yeah.
expect someone
Mm,
to write a decent, good quality 60,000 word book every month. But
yes.
in terms of small business owners like coaches, entrepreneurs who are aiming to build a portfolio, you can aim for every 2 to 3 months of um,
Okay.
short books to build your portfolio in the
Mm,
first couple of months of you becoming a self-published author to build the momentum, because
Yeah.
after the 6 weeks of publishing your first book, you could see the sales start to trickle
Mm.
down, because it's it's post launch. So if you really want to ride the wave and build the momentum, aim to publish every 2 to 3 months, if you can, just short, really specific
Mm.
problem areas that your readers want to overcome, that you want them to help, if you that you want to help them with, and map it out. I mean, for many of my students inside the Get It Done Hub, because they have this ambition to build a portfolio, we map out the series from the
Yes.
start. Book one is about this, book two is about this. So when you are writing book one, you don't have the need to put everything in there. You don't feel overwhelmed that I have to throw all of my expertise in just one book, because I know that I'm going to talk about this particular area in book two. And as you're writing book one, you could even refer your readers that,
Mm.
this one is coming up. Focus on this problem first, sort that
Yes.
out, and the next phase is this, and then the next phase is that. So you could plan it out from the start, whether it's a 3 book series or a 5 book
Mm.
series. It's entirely up to you, but map it out, and plan it according to your business model, plan it
Mm.
according to what offers are coming out in your overall business, and just be quite strategic in terms of how you're going to use your book to support your business.
Yeah, I know that when I was writing my book, I had that kind of temptation to go down a wormhole into a topic that actually wasn't the main topic of my book. So I think that makes a lot of sense by saying, actually give people something that might be slightly smaller but is actionable. And if you need to go down a wormhole, that can be another book. That can be an add-on that you do later, that you then you can briefly introduce a concept over in the first book. But if you want to dig into that, then make that a separate area.
Yes, and that's actually what I love about planning a series of books, Annette,
Mm.
because it's easier for you as an
Yeah.
author to keep your focus, but it's
Mm.
also better for the readers, because it's something that they could finish reading quite quickly.
Mm.
And especially if you're someone who wants to take action,
Yeah.
something that is practical, after they finish reading it, off they go. And
Yeah.
the more results that we can give to our readers, the better. We
Mm.
want results for our clients, we want results for our customers. And when you have a book series that's delivering that, then you'll have raving fans at the end of it.
Yeah, amazing, amazing. I love it. Emmy, this has been such a great conversation. I think that I in the end thoroughly enjoyed writing my book. It's something that I put off for years and years and years. And actually, I can say to everyone, it was actually a lot easier than I had made up it to be in my head. So I highly, highly recommend that people do it. Emmy has some great resources to help you do that. Emmy, why don't you let our listeners and watchers know where they can find out more about you and where you hang out online?
I have to say, just Google me. I'm
Yeah.
quite easy. So Google me, Emee Estacio. You'll find me on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And yeah, just reach out, and I'll be there to support.
Amazing. We'll also put Emmy's links in the show notes so that you have those as well, and that you can contact her, reach out to her there. Once again, Emmy, thank you so much for joining us. I think that this has been a great session. I am sure our listeners and watchers will agree. So thank you so much for that.
Thank you.
Everyone, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate your time. I know it is incredibly precious. So thank you for spending some of it with us today. And I will speak to you all again soon. Take care.